Welcome to the Garden Show with Belize Botanic Gardens. I'm your host, Rudy Aguilar. Today in this episode we'll be talking about irritant plants. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Garden Show. Here we have one of our first toxic plants. This is Duranta erecta. As you can see with the variegated leaves that it has, it's a sign more or less that it's toxic. Usually plants with variegation on the leaves are toxic. Variegations are the different colors you would find on leaves. This is a shrub that usually gets about 15 foot in height. The flowers are actually blue, so they're very beautiful, very common in gardens. The toxic part about the plants is the leaves, but mostly the berries. The berries are usually eaten by birds, but for humans and dogs and cats, it's quite toxic. It affects your digestive system, so it might give you vomiting and also diarrhea. So usually kids, because it does look like berries, kids would pick it and put it in their mouth. Just you have to be careful with these berries. So if you have one of these in your yard, it's not bad for it to flower, but as the flower is finished, you want to go ahead and prune it off so that the seeds don't really, the fruits, it doesn't really bear fruits. You don't want it to have fruits. And also you don't want the kids to be putting the leaves in their mouths, that as well. So to keep the plant looking nice and bushy and low, you want to prune it, and that will increase the amount of flowers, and by pruning it, you also decrease the amount of fruits. So as it's finished flowering, you want to prune it off so that it doesn't give the fruits, and also watch for the leaves so that the kids, the babies, don't put the leaves in their mouths. Here we have one of the other plants. This is a Calladium. Locals here in Belize know it as the bleeding heart, Jesus heart. There are hundreds of cultivars of this type of plant. They have in different colors, different shades. But again, if you notice the color on the leaf, again another sign that the plant is toxic. Now the toxic part of this plant is actually the bulb, the root system that it has. You know, if you dig it up and you eat it, then you'll be in trouble. It causes problems with your nervous system, and also it affects your heart. So you want to stay away from consuming this plant. And again, it's very common to find it in gardens. It's in different shades, in different colors, but they contain the same toxins. Now this is one of our emergent trees here in the garden. It's not as common here in Belize. This is one of our euphorbias. Now this tree is very toxic. If you notice, the sap inside the tree is very toxic. It's a laxative, so it basically gives you a lot of diarrhea. You feel very drowsy, and you get fevers. It also has a fruit, and the fruit, if you light it, the oils that it contains, it can actually burn like a candle. That is why this fruit is also known as the candlenut tree. Aurelitis 40i is the scientific name for this tree. Like I said, it's not very common in gardens around Belize, but we have it here at the Belize Botanic Gardens. You are watching the Garden Show on the National Channel. When we come back, we'll continue exploring the toxic plants here at the Belize Botanic Gardens.